right, so back to this again. This carrying continuing on. I believe this is what part 10. I think I'm pretty much fully caught up or uploaded. I guess one thing to address because I believe I only uploaded one part yesterday, and I've only really been uploading like one or two parts. Coming off of me having been uploading like three parts for Fusion, and again, there's one time I actually uploaded four parts for the lane game. So again, and the reason for that being again, still, transitioning to my next line of work, right? But the big thing there is I'm actually doing another series, which is taking up one of those recordings, right? It's on a private playlist. And the reason for that being again, kind of addressing in this one, it's basically I'm pretty much going over my entire college experience, right? In that private playlist or private videos for now. They are face videos again, and it's basically just yeah, again, kind of going over all that. I may make it public. I don't know exactly, or I may just keep it private and like send it to like people I guess who are like interested or whatever, But again, it's well, those people would be like people who I know, right? Who are like wondering about or like curious about that kind of stuff, right? Not to just randos on the internet. But again, that's kind of taking up some of my time right now. I should be done maybe by like the start of July, maybe definitely by the fourth. I should be done by the fourth. But again, it is just something where I want to talk about it and get it out of the way. Because it is something where it's like, yeah, that's the reason why I'm not spending as much time on this as I want to. But granted, it is also something where, thinking about it there, right? The big thing and what that means for this is again, I should still finish this, right? We're theoretically like about halfway through this mod. And then something where again, once I'm done with this, I'm going back to Infinite Fusion, right? And then finishing the second half of that game. I've had enough break, right? Hmm. Funny enough, I honestly might try to do another Civ game. But it is something I might try doing our Civ game, and this sounds absolutely far-fetched. But I might go back to Yik and try to get that one Rory option. Again, I never ended up doing that after I finished the game just because I was so like tired of it. But it is something to where, I could go back and do that. But again, most likely most likely, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to Infinite Fusion, right? I'll probably hold off on Civ because again, the only reason I did the second Civ game was because the first one got ended prematurely, right? But again, it is something where it's like the big thing there is, and what I will do with that is, yeah, again, go back and then, what's the term? Again, I'll go back and then, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I'll go back, finish up the second half of Infinite Fusion, and then, in the Johto region, the Sevi Islands, right? And then, from there on out, maybe do an DLC mod. Honestly, after that point, I'll probably end up going back to Yik and then maybe doing yet another Civ game. But again, who knows, right? The big thing there is, yeah, it's been however long, and I didn't want to take that big of a break before Infinite Fusion, but it is something to where it's like, yeah, now that I just wanted to take a break, and I'm pretty satisfied with the break I've had again. For me, it was just something where it's like I didn't want to overdo it and burn myself out. But again, now that I've reached this point, right, it's something where it's like, again, the big thing there is I think I got this all sorted out as a result, right? So again, we'll see there, and then yeah, we're just again continue. Oh, I forgot we're on the second page. Yeah, dude, some of like you like, dude, like, dude, like, freaking, you know, uh, and then what did yours, Oh, this one, yeah, the other one with you, but again, it's like I will say this is probably one of the few games I've played that ship the Dokis. Um, it shipped the girls together, right? The only R1 I can think of is yeah, the only I really don't the only R1 I can think of off the top of my head was Behind Closed Doors, which shipped, I believe it was Sayori and Yuri. I don't recall any other game like having some sort of active ship that didn't include the MC. Like literally the only one I can think of is Behind Closed Doors, and that one I believe was Sayori and Yuri. Um, for whatever reason, I remember there being a Natsuki Yuri one, but I don't remember which game that was for. Maybe it was for Summer Hope. I have no idea. But again, it's something to where it's like, yeah, I guess that's what that ends up coming down to. The big thing there, right, is yeah, again, the big thing there is just, whatever, right? Yeah, and then what that ends up coming down to is yeah, no, I just wanted to point that out because again, this seems to be very heavily pushing both Sayori Monica Sayanka and then Natsuki Yuri Natsuri, right? Which is interesting because it's like I don't think I've only played one that shipped anyone outside of just the MC and whoever, and then this the only one that's shipping two different ones, right? Hey, leaves the MC all for myself, am I right? Not even gonna lie, but partial homo. But the big thing there being that's like, again, I just found that very interesting. I'm not exactly opposed to it. What I am opposed to is the whole MC bad mentality and that being the main driving factor for the game. I think there was just way more potential to be explored in other, concepts that was just never brought about. But I'm not gonna dog on, them shipping, Sayanka or, Natsuri or whatever, right? Because the interactions between them are interesting, right? And it does create some like interesting dynamics. But again, mostly I'm gonna dog on them for the whole MC bad mentality. Was with guys and always going after this. It's okay. This is a very granted, it's Natsuki saying this, right? Okay, I'm gonna actually answer this question seriously. Wait, who's speaking right now? Who the fuck is it? It's it's Natsuki, right? I mean, it's Pink. Who the fuck is speaking? I don't know who's speaking right now. Is it Monica? Okay, it is Monica. So, what would you call it? So it's Monica speaking. I was just confused because it was pink, but again, pink's the default color. It's not Natsuki pink. First things first, again, I talked about this. I've literally never seen the MC, Yuri canon in any mods. Like it's always been in excluding route-based mods or like Yuri specific mods. In any mod that's like a story-based mod, like I consider this a story-based mod. In a story-based mod, I've never seen the MC Yuri canon. It's always been either MC Natsuki or MC Sayori. It's never been MC Yuri. So it's something to where the irony of this statement is this is literally the first time I've seen the MC Yuri canon in a story-based mod. It's always been MC, funny enough, MC Natsuki even more than MC Sayori. It's always been either MC Natsuki or MC Sayori, never MC Yuri. So that's the irony. And the second thing, kind of to actually answer Monica's question somewhat seriously and like, so as to why guys go after, quad goals, right? First off, again, just knowing who the MC is, right? Again, even his personality, since he's the typical, was it loser, neat, like archetype, stereotype, like bland insert, self insert, main character, right? Like it's just more tuned to his personality of being an introvert, being kind of anxious and like more, I'd say like social. I don't want to say socially inept, but basically that, right? It's just more in line with Yuri there. Obviously, his interests, like in terms of his like what he does with like anime and video games or whatnot, is more in line with like let's say Natsuki, right? And then obviously he already is friends in his history with Sayori. But in terms of his like kind of fundamental character, like more like fundamental kind of character and like who he is, like personality wise, like excluding like interests or who he knows, he's more in line with Yuri there, right? So again, it's just more natural you go after people that even if you have different interests that you yourself are more fundamentally like, right? Obviously you don't want to go after the exact same person, but it's like again, which is why they have vastly different interests, but they are very much alike when it comes to their sort of personality in that sense, right? So that's the first thing. And the second thing, especially when coming from people like the MC, and I don't want to say myself too, but I am again, for me, the thing I talk about is it's like, well, now it's my job, but sort of, it was my athletics, then it was my, activities in college, and then now it's just my job that's kind of forcing me to come out of my shell. Like I'm very much an introverted person. Like I'm not gonna say I have social anxiety, but I'm more like socially inept when it comes to things like that, right? I mean, that's why I'm playing this game, it's a self selecting thing, right? But again, the big thing there being that's like what it comes down to for me is I need to like force myself to come out on the show, right? Like I don't even really like I never partied in high school. I didn't even know people did. And I just partied in college because you have to go out of your way to not party, right? Like that's just at least the college I went to, right? That was kind of how the environment was. And even then it's like I wasn't doing anything crazy, right? It was more like house parties. I didn't really go to like any much frat parties. I rarely went out to like the bars just because it was like honestly, bars are like pretty much a scam in college. Unless you like know someone and like can get like cover waived, it's honestly a scam. Like, like it was mostly like parties, like, in like people's apartments, right? That I knew, right? But again, it's something where that's kind of the size point, right? Like even now, like I don't really go out. I mostly just like if I'll have like a drink or two with friends, But it's something where just again based on personality, right? You're not going to have and Monica should at least have some self awareness, right? Given how her character is supposed to be written, like you're not going to go for the freaking like like star of the school, right? Like popular, because again, you view them as out of your league. It's a compromise between like let's say again someone you're not going to go for someone out of your league, but you want to go for someone who's like you, right? And someone who again thinking about probability and like chance that they would actually like, there'd be some like long-term relationship, right? Like it's going to be more likely with again people who are not just similar to you, but also who have, I'd say, debatably less confidence in themselves. Like assuming, we're talking about like the quiet girl, archetype, stereotype that like Yuri represents, who has less confidence in themselves and again doesn't have the self-awareness that let's say like Monica has, where she's like, oh, this like it's hot. Because again, going back to Longer Roads, her issue was she never again the whole thing in kind of surprise there she never actually had like a boyfriend because again either everyone viewed her as like out of their league, right? Or they just viewed her as this like kind of pedestal like type like girl, right? Not just like this person who's trying to struggle, to maintain this appearance. But it's something to where when you have people who have less confidence in themselves, it sounds manipulative, but again, it's something to where it's more likely that something will end up working out. So like it makes sense, right? Like I'm not gonna lie, it makes sense, but it's also something to where, to be fair, if you look at it in this level and this in depth, like honestly, like you're like missing the point at that, right? You're like really missing the point in your freaking like overblowing it, right? But it's something where it does make sense when you have people like the MC to go after, let's say like the Quiet Girls, right? Compared to like let's say Natsuki, who okay, not even gonna lie, I like Natsuki's like basically like if you go with Natsuki, you're just asking to be abused. Like I don't know what to tell you, but if you go after Natsuki type people, you're just asking to be abused. And then again, the whole childhood friend thing, right? Like, cause so I never had like a childhood like well, obviously not a female one. I've had childhood friends, but they're all guys, right? So that I'm still pretty close with. So again, there's no like romance involved, but it is something to where it's like because I think what happens a lot of the time when it comes to the whole like childhood friend, like if you're a guy and you have a childhood friend, who's a girl, right? I don't. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's like a sister thing, but it almost kind of is to where it's like they're more of like a sister in a sense. Like romance isn't like really, I guess, a thought process or something that's really like involved there or like really granted this contradicts because what I've said is like, oh, regardless of what you think, there's always the thought, possibility or potential or probability there, right? That you end up being a thing. But again, that's nothing more than a thought, right? That's kind of my take. That's like, it's always going to be a thought, right? Like the thoughts, like female friends, like like I can say I've thought about, oh, what happens if I like get with this female friend or whatever, but it's always like just a thought. It's like a hypothetical or whatnot, right? The big and especially when it comes to female like childhood friends, it's something where again because especially in that sense they're more like again because that's you grew up as friends, right? And not like I mean you don't grow up as lovers because of the like again going back to the whole cooties thing, right? Like it's not till like let's say like middle school, high school, like where you start taking like romance and that crap seriously, right? It's something to where again, and it's kind of a self fulfilling thing because a lot of the times, usually it's the female childhood friend, who's trying to kind of set you up with someone else, right? Like let's be real here, or like vice versa, where it's like generally they find up again because they spent so long as friends, you know, they spent so long as friends, right? Grew up that way. That's kind of been their, I guess relationship again. Their relationship is their friendship, right? That's how they view each other, and they try to set the other up with someone else. Is usually what ends up coming down to, like being like, right? It's something to where it's almost never really like, the possibility of consideration, despite the fact that people are like, oh, just go for the fucking person you knew the whole time, right? It's like, it's not that simple. Like I feel like it's something to where this is gonna be well, this isn't really a hot take, but like I feel like media and like anime specifically, right? And like slice of life is like absolute like brain rot when it comes to like actually like forming like social like relationships and like friendships when it comes to like other people and like kind of how you perceive or your outlook and like perspective on that kind of stuff, because it's like the big thing there is like, I mean, it's not as simple as like, oh, you have these like stereotypes and archetypes like you do in this game, and you can literally just pick, who you want to go for, right? But again, I've wasted enough time. Does he know they don't usually want to be messed with? That's not entirely true. And again, this is blind ignorance on the part of Monica. It's not that they don't want to be messed with, and I can say this as someone who's more introvert. It's not that like we don't want to be messed with. It's more so something to where it has to be like convenient for us. It's like something to where it's like it's there's taste in it, right? Like I say, like difference between being tasteful and being an asshole. It's not that we don't want to be messed with. It's just that I don't want to say it needs to be on our terms, because that sounds like it's more so like we need to be comfortable with it. There needs to be like a level of content there. Clench up. Well, okay, but this is because it's the fucking MC, right? Your scene's even more angry than yesterday. This is because it's the MC, but you already knew that the MC Yuri Cannon was part of this. Like you knew he was going for Yuri. He's gonna want to spend some, yeah, literally, like you should have known that this was coming. Got about Sunday. Let's see. The two talk. You're still moving her way towards the cup boards. The MC following her. Thinks she has as well. And then as a piece together, you're actually about to occur. Sure, we can go now. And then you just stop. It's like, where are you two going? Okay, because to be fair, in the original, this was valid. It's like, it's like, what the fuck are these two doing? They're spending an awful lot of time together. Hmm. He spoke up with a stutter. He's like, well, me and you're about to go fill up the water pitcher. Hmm. For some tea, right? This is a basic level interaction. Also, completely unrelated, I got my jacket tailored and it cost fucking $100. Like literally like $100 to get like my suit jacket tailored. Granted, it looked like shit before and now it looks pretty good. So it was worth the money, but it's like, damn, I probably got scammed. Yeah, it's something to where it's like I probably ended up getting like scammed out of money. Like I probably could have gotten it done for half the price and mostly as good. But again, I just completely besides the point. I just again seen the MC, right? Wanted to point that out. Um, tilt to my head. Don't you think that's kind of one? Okay, because to be fair, the original interaction's valid, but this makes more sense because she wants you to get some alone time, right? Can you please mind your own? I can feel the force, even if they weren't said to be hurtful. I sorry. You're a grimacely slight. She's like, because again, we know that in the original, right? The what would you call it? Freaking context is that yeah, they actually have a thing for each other, you know. So again, as the door, everyone else let outside relief. Not skilled and walked over, staring me in the face. She put her hand on my arm. You okay? You seem taken aback. Well, because I guess there was still because again, the problem being, the girls they can't separate kind of what's like acting because it basically is acting. They can't separate the act from, the actual sort of, feelings and emotions behind it. It just still kind of hurts, because again, it's like I mean, yeah, because the MC nearly in the original nearly fucking destroyed, the club, right? Just by his presence alone. So does it mean she's very? I mean, yeah, because she's the one who has to deal with him. Like, I'm sure she'll be okay. She's as tough as you. Let's see. I'm really not. Yeah, she's like I'm, because we know Natsuki's really not tough. She's just insecure as fuck. she's tough in terms of the beatings she can take, but again, so Siri, what are you doing? So you're like on smile brightly. I know you're worried, but Yuri can do anything. But again, you all need faith in each other, right? So again, you're returning. Turn back to normal position. Zansky watching the door eagerly. She walked back in with the water pitcher filled with the brick. Made an apologetic look. My worries going away. She felt the pot of freshly gone water. Do you like oolong? I've said a bit louder than normal. The rest was perked. She moved her tea over to the teacher's desk and got set up the water bell and soon. And again, that's for everyone, right? So let's see. The two of them strike up a quiet conversation. Siori and I are watching them. Seems she made us all tea, even though she didn't have to. I mean, it's a good thing, right? It's like Jesus. So she looked back at us, nodded towards Kettle, and she and the MC went over to the wall. She's like, "Oh, my back, my back." Surista made her way over to quietly. Yuri, even distracted, shared a book together. Dovernatsky, trying her best not to stare. Attention being split between your notebook and the two on the wall. Here, so you offered me a cup. Took a gentle sip. The flavor washing on my tongue as I relaxed. Yuri eventually made her way to the back end of the room, as well as to offer Natsuki a cup. Natsuki seemed grateful for that. Thanking her with a smile, she came around, her hands wrapped around the cup of her own. You really think this will end okay? Sayori said softly. I looked over the worried girl and smiled. Sure, it'll be all right. Like you said, she's tough. I mean, again, you just need faith, right? Because if something were to happen, there's nothing you can really do to stop it, right? Let's be real here. Like even if Fury isn't able to do it, like what are you gonna do? I mean, because that's literally what's needed for in the game script, right? Piece of chocolate in Yuri's mouth. It's like you. Nasi said a bit too. It's like okay, like listen. Unironically though, like in the like that's a very bold, like brazen move on the MC in the original that you like rarely see. Like you rarely see the MC like do that because again, just based on a type of person he is. But again, very like not gonna even gonna lie, that's a very bold, like brazen like move on his part that you normally wouldn't expect. My poem. See, I'm sorry, I went, dude. Listen, okay. To be fair, this is literally the only time, like, out of every single, I don't even know, probably like 2 dozen mods I played, like, out of however many story mods I played, the only story mod this is literally the only story mod I played where the MC Yuri is canon, right? My teacup off the side, game ready to see his chocolate conquest. All right, everyone, just freaking just screams, any longer. Okay, damn, Natsuki about to fuck it up for everyone. She's not even the one. Looks at the two. You're looking relieved. He's like, huh? He's like, shit. If you two can clean up, I would appreciate it. Yeah, if freaking Yuri she picked up her 2 cups. Now her jilted. The fuck is jilted? Don't tell me that's a word. I'm gonna look this up. Jilted. I've never seen. You gotta be kidding me. Suddenly reject or abandon a lover. I have never fucking seen that word before. Dude, jilted. Bro, he wiped off his pants once in the middle of the room. Very similar fashion. And the text box comes up. Oh my god, I'm gonna need to do this entire. Interesting. Oh, I forgot. To whom? Bro, who motherfucker said who? Oh my god, so I can't even save here. So I need to make it through. This kind of sucks. I need to make it through everyone. Again, we're going back to Yuri. Hey, we're going back to Yuri. He chose my name. Yeah, I'm doing the same exact order as yesterday. Even a rat. Bro, what? Like, dude, freaking motherfucker lives in New York. I mean, dude, like, okay. One thing I never understood in kind of the mentality behind, okay, I'm about to say something really like sus here, right? So like again, how you can't choose your sexuality, right? Or like you can't choose kind of basically in kind of the umbrella statement for that is you can't choose who you're attracted to, right? That's kind of the follow on, right? And or more so that's the preceding sort of again umbrella like statement, that leads to that, right? But because, if you accept that, you can't choose who you're attracted to, right? One thing I never understood is like people who like berate others for who they're like attracted to. Again, unless like okay, granted it depends on how you act on that attraction, right? Because it's something to where it's like assuming he's like has a genuine interest in yours. Granted, if you're going after like legit like criminals and like abusers, right? That's like a different story. Like you're just have bad decision making. But again, it's something, or you have like Stockholm syndrome or something. But like, if you're attracted to like a normal person, like Yuri, let's say, like I never understood kind of the mentality that like, oh, you like oh, you can't, be attracted to this person. You can't go for this person, right? Even if you're interested in them. Like that's a mentality that I never really understood. I knew people who were legit like, oh, like I know this person's attracted to this person, right? Granted, obviously there can be some like you can like comment on that, like, oh, I think they're a good match. I don't think they're really a good match. Like, oh, I don't like I guess, good for them, right? If if they like that person. But it's like I never understood the mentality that you cannot have feelings for it's like you literally have no control over that. B, it's like unless like it directly involves you, which even in this instance here, it's like what are you gonna do? Basically confront him about it because we know that's literally not in the script. But it's like small smile. Let's see what you have today, dude. It's gonna be, dude. I hated that, dude. These poems are actually crazy though from the player caricature. Oh my god, dude. I don't want to read this. I don't want to fucking read this. I just saw the last word. Knife away from one's imagination, so sincere, so secretive, hiding behind the eyes of a raccoon, darkened circles, telling all the uncontrollable feelings, a whirlwind of crimson entropy. The bread knife, the bread crumbling, knife slicing roughly, captive lost, sin of wrath. The blood run dry, run free, a final worthy climax. Bro, why is that bolded and why do they got a one? Dude, the player character coming up with like the shittiest fucking poems in existence. So this is the game you again, because Grant, well, okay, so to be fair, this is why I don't understand, because like if because this makes it seem as though Yuri is aware of our presence. But again, which is what thought would make sense for the game to do, right? We're the player playing through the MC. Yuri, again, our character self-aware of our existence. But again, that's not exactly the case because they showed the player caricature to be like his own person within the game control. Again, it's just weird. So like I guess she's referring to him, but again, it's complicated because it's like, oh, this is us, right? Is she referring to us or like what's going on, right? Okay, I did not mean to click that. Now slip back over, lay down on the quad side. This is much better in comparison to yesterday. It's really worse. You know, it's just fake in the end. It literally is. Maybe it's because you did such a good job explaining it to me. I really did try. No, well, okay, this he did try to make it have more imagery, but the bad imagery, right? He's being truthful. Yeah, that's why I was like, on a technicality. Um, you know, let's see, it was all right. Because it's something where it's like, this is just what's scripted, right? It's just the freaking player caricature. You know, he's like, welcome. He's like, what the fuck? Anyway, do you want to share your poem with me? No, I don't think I will. He took him right over. He's like, usual extreme speed. Dude, this motherfucker can't read. Wish you'd because again, and this is what I don't understand. So the player caricature, like, what's the context? Is he just repeating DDLC over and over again? Like, supposedly he was playing a mod, so it's like if it's a different poem, okay, maybe even if it's the original, but then why would the script matter so much if he's playing a mod that should be different? You know, let's see. I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. Jeez. I mean it explains it well, Also to be fair, coming from, like even within assuming the MC, is his own person, like he's like this is like the first time he's doing this shit. So, can't really figure it out though. It's kind of deep. It's like literally even coded form. My character was deep. It's about raccoon and bread. I like raccoons. Well, we know what it's referring to. Even the Naifu, Laifu poem was about to reveal the real intentions. Obviously, raccoons are cool, bruh. Dude, there's no way he does not say this in the original. I refuse to believe that. If so, I would have dunked on him so fucking hard for that line. I don't recall them ever saying that in the original. Raccoons are cool, bro. Dude, that's like the oh yeah, I like to drink tea too. I don't read horror, but I like to drink tea. It's like, you know, it's nothing really. Went back over to his normal spot. He's like, all right, freaking, let's go Monaco, right? Green. He tapped my bun and approached me. He looked a bit apprehensive. You're acting. What are you fucking talking about, bro? Hello again. Lean forward low. He likes it. So what have you brought me today? Masterpiece? Well, I mean, lean forward. It's like you just got freaking, you're off balance, right? Smile slightly. I kind of doubt that ever happened. I smile a little less the enemy's poem. All right, let's see what it is. Monica Nos. I just dude, I thought this was gonna be a little bit of freaking like Monica and My Life song. All right. Or number five, just a little bit Monica, nothing more, a little bit Monica, nothing else, a little bit extra and warm, my chrome might break, my loose self in this man is back forth, line, back forth, number. The end is true, it's only failure, nobody's safe. Damn, that's crazy. Laugh a little as I hand it back to him. This one's good. Real, it really expresses you as a person. Oh, that's actually hilarious. Just curious. Did you find inspiration from your? It's like, damn, that's crazy. You're like, tough. Why the fuck are you two eavesdropping? Hers is quite interesting, and winked. It's like wink, wink. Well, I think your style is quite okay. No way she fucking said that in the original. Takes a lot to understand. He's like, I don't even understand that shit myself. Nazi's eyebrows. She looked yeah, it's like it takes time. She's very intelligent in that regard. Mouth flashed an uncertain look. For we're burying his usual dumb and doofus. What a goober. Wanting to end the conversation. How about you take a look at my poem? I'm sure you'll like it. Took the poem, barely looked it over. He's like, looks there for 1 second. You're really interested. Okay, to be fair, like using the term. Okay, so like they dogged on the MC for using the term metaphorical. I'm not gonna dog on him for that because again, even if like without this, just within the context of the original, like again, the dude just doesn't have exposure to this kind of stuff. But I am gonna dog on him for just saying interesting for fucking everything. Saying it's interesting is like that. It's like not. I smiled. Abstract? Seemed to be deep in thought. My mind running through the next step. Here's my tip of the day. Make sure to save the game. Whatever, don't forget to save your game. Hey, thanks. Thanks for the bringing thanks or tip. Oh, sure, I should have saved it here. Whatever. Yeah, you never know when you might change your mind. When something expected may happen. Smiles like cut off, him fidgeting slightly. It's his code unable to process what happened. Yeah, dude. Don't forget to save your game. Honestly, I don't remember. Well, I don't remember how I reacted to when. Well, to be fair, I had watched the game before I played it, but it was something where I think it was because when I'd originally watched it, I thought it's like, oh, the devs were just putting in some like Easter egg or something. It's like, oh, they were just trying to be, funny. Like it was supposed to be a fourth wall breaker reference, right? But I didn't. I thought it was a one-time thing or one-off event, right? And again, once we're done with Natsuki, will probably end. Tossing the poem down. Dude literally fucking throws it. Yeah, it's like just give me the. All right, shattered bottles, colors of hope, shine, sparkling, happy thoughts, all shattered, all broken on your dirty floor. Sharp, broken promise, too lazy here, surrounded by rain clouds. Hopelessness, lucky special forgiveness turns to someone who deserves it. Because you aren't, you defeated Chet. Damn, freaking rip Sayori. Dude, this one's somehow even worse. Dude, the caricature really like making diss tracks and poems. Like, why is he so mean? I like this one a lot. Bullshit. Smell bright as the could. She just off to the side. Dude, the Loki, he's actually like a freaking like, savage though. Like, not even gonna lie. So I'm glad because that means he's at least better than yesterday's. Dude, like in this again, so problem with like loser neat people like the MC, right? The problem is it's not even small talk. It's more like, you just I don't want to say you don't have a personality, but something to where it's like you like what you say and do, like there's nothing more that's like it like this is just an observation. Like this isn't. Like this is just it is basically a conclusion. Like you don't have there's just nothing interesting, right? You don't say anything interesting. It's like overriding my fake smile, stare at my own desk, trying to say what I needed to. I'm not the best figuring out poems, so I might not be the best judge. He rolls eyes. I don't even know what kind of poems you like. Freaking dude, it's not that deep, bro. I might have known by now. Well, I like happy poems. They had sound with both the worlds bittersweet, right? Yeah, I mean, freaking, after the roof, I think most at least some level of suspicion. Because again, it's interesting, and that's actually a very interesting point. Seems like each of the characters are not just kind of worried about each other, but worried about themselves. It seems as though they almost each have something to hide, or at least something they need to try to conceal. Monica, again, we know that she hasn't told them the whole truth yet. Sayori's still dealing with her issues. Again, Natsuki is struggling to kind of maintain her composure more than anyone else. And even like Yuri, she's just I'd say she's overall, she's the one who's dealing with him on the canon route. So there's stuff that she's gonna know that no one else will, right? I can feel she's the one who has the most one-on-one FaceTime, right? No, he won't read it. We seem to have grown even more. She looked at me, smiled, a feeble attempt to reassure. I want to go home with her. Not his ass. This can't be written by you. What do you mean? It's like, what do you mean it can't? Of course, Hold on. I don't think he said that in the original. Am I an idiot? I don't recall him ever saying that. You know, he seemed taken back. He read over. He read twice. This just, it doesn't sound like you. It's what? Hold on. Yeah, I don't believe he said that in the original. Am I crazy? You're really into this stuff, aren't you? Laughed away. I'm gonna hold on. It's like until I can't write anymore. That's why I'm like, I don't believe, later, okay? Oh no, she does actually say this in the original because that's like very ironic. Because he's supposed to say, "Oh geez, it ain't that serious." Natsuki about to blow up on him right now. You know. All right. Here he comes. I grimaced as he chucked. Dude, it's literally the last one. I gave you the last one. Let's see. Monica's words rang loudly. What the fuck is going? Bitch, we ascending to heaven? Bitch, flashback? What the fuck? Inverted colors? No, what the fuck? What is going on? What is fucking happening? Dude, what is actually. Dude, this is crazy. Hey, if you aren't gonna write these poems for everyone, he's like, well, damn, freaking dude. He's like, bro, it's not that deep. It's like Jesus Christ. He's like, is I said, dude, he's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, nailed it, dude. You're a fucking dumbass. Natsuki literally just blew it. Because she doesn't even say that in the original. Because in the original, she says something to her. It's like, okay, it's obvious you wrote this for whoever, right? Wait, what else? Oh. All right. Again, we know what's going on. They're all. Is this about the festival? Let's see. Gut dropping. I forgot about what was coming later. Isn't that nice? But my frown grows. They smoke. My head wandering off to our places. Sarah's been putting a poster all around the school too. But my eyes wants to look down to poster paper. She's like, yeah, I haven't been doing that shit. My heart pounding. What the fuck? What is fucking hold on. I need to save here. I need to save here. It seems like we're reaching a point of like where shit's about to pop off. Again, we saw that freaking Natsuki flashback. We saw like it seems like we've been on kind of and again, I'm gonna end it here for this part. We've been kind of on a string of like little events happening, right? Kind of going off the script. But now it seems like they've kind of culminated, and we're gonna really go off topic. Damn, I'm not even gonna lie, the MC really is cute though. But again, freaking that's just the big thing of what I wanted to point out there, right? Again, and I guess yeah, we'll see in the next one. This one, it was just an optimal time to end it. Again, obviously I get sidetracked when I play this, it's just typical. Went on that whole tangent about like the whole reason why like guys, or at least guys like the MC, go after quieter girls, right? It's just it makes sense if you think about it. Like a lot of that shit makes sense. I'm not gonna act as if like I'm a relationship guru because I'm really not, right? Like I have very little advice to give, again based off experience. Let's put it that way. But it is something where if you actually like think about things, like put time, thought, and effort into things, right? And like think about stuff. A lot of it makes sense. Like people just don't like. I feel like people, you know, I feel like it's something where people are just people, forget and are kind of blind. People don't do things without reason. Like most people do things, most things can be explained, right? There are very few instances of like things or like people that I just cannot explain that just make absolutely zero sense. So like again, there's one person that I'm not even gonna say I'm really friends with. They're a roommate to one of my friends, one of the people I am friends with. This person, not only do they just blatantly drunk drive, but they also have like literally the most disgusting room I've seen. Like absolutely nasty. I do not understand this person, especially given the current line of work that we are in, and something where he's like, he's in what's the term? A position of authority, right? And it's like, dude, like there are some baseline level stuff that you're just not meeting. Again, it's one thing like I can understand booze cruising where you have like a beer or two and then you'll drive, right? Because you can still, you're still under the legal limit and you're still like, what would you call it? You're still like what's the term? You're still there's a term for it that I can't think of. You're still sort of aware, right? You're still fully aware, right? The big thing there though is yeah, like for me, okay, I won't have more than like one, and it has to be like a small like light beer. Like I'm not gonna have like for me, I'll have like a small like light beer, like a can, and then I'll still drive. But anything more, I'm done. Like I'm not even gonna risk it. Um, again, but this dude will again, and then like I understand, like okay, my room's pretty fucking clean, but that's just because for me, it's something where I just don't let it get dirty. Like everything I got has a place, and that's also how I don't really lose shit. But like I understand your room being a little dirty, right? Especially if you're not expecting like that's another big thing, guys. If you're not expecting like girls over, right? You're not like gonna keep your room like fucking clean as fuck, right? But again, big thing there being that like, but there's very few people that just blatantly don't understand. Like one thing I don't understand is a dude, he didn't do like interviews for like, his like not his job, but like, the positions he wanted within the job. So he again got like freaking shafted. It's like, dude, I don't know what you expected. But again, that's another example. But it's been 40. I'm just gonna end it here. It seems like shit's about to pop off. So again, I'm ending it and I just want to see it in the next one. So yep, that's it for this one. See you in the next one.